Yeah, thanks, Nico. Just to reflect back on Chicago, obviously a very important result, an important bounce back game. This group has a tendency after a disappointing performance to bounce back and look like us afterwards. So I think that's kind of been in our DNA over the last 3-4 seasons. Was really proud of how we played. Outside of maybe the poor second half start, not a lot to correct or change. I thought our energy was very good. We put a good Chicago team under some pressure that was in good form, caused them to make some mistakes and punish them. So overall, really great win at home, a place where I think we're 17 league games unbeaten now, and I think our goal differential is 40 goals for and 7 against. So we've had a great home mentality. Our challenge now is to take that same mentality on the road, where we've been a good team this year, but I think we can be even better and sharper. Nico has done an incredible job with FC Dallas, a really strong opponent, a team that has a lot of dynamic attackers, leads the league in through balls played and through balls completed, so they're very dangerous in getting in behind you. So we'll have to be really organized with our team, be nice and compact, and not let it turn into an end-to-end game, which we're not built for on the road. So big new challenge. Always midweek games in MLS are a little bit wild and tend to have some interesting score lines, and it's our job to guard against a letdown after a really strong performance against Chicago, and I expect our group to give their maximum.
Thanks, Jim. Joe Tansey.
Jim, you got me?
Yep.
Okay. How do you kind of manage this week, knowing that you're playing a Western Conference opponent midweek, Eastern Conference opponent with a worse record on the weekend? Does that go into selection process at all this week?
Yeah, look, MLS has done a better job this year of putting you on the same equal rest as your opponent. I think you guys saw DC plays tonight in LA, which is a difficult travel, but I wish after every Wednesday, I've said this 3,000 times, I wish after every Wednesday their following game was on a Sunday, because that extra day of rest is valuable. But the schedule is what it is. We'll have one less day of rest than DC, but our focus right now has to be on Dallas. We've played good on the weekend. They played really well on the weekend as well. It's at a time in the year where you want to chase every point, so there's no throwaway games just because we're in a good position. We don't want to stop any forward momentum. We want to have a proactive performance and a positive one. Are we realistic in that each guy's not going to be able to play 90 minutes in the next 2 games? That's probably the case, but we'll put a really strong team out on the field against Dallas to chase all 3 points. We'll regroup after that and then assess what's best for DC United. So we will get a snapshot into what DC does tonight, how they approach the game, so that is helpful. But you do wish, more times than not, you're on the same rest as your upcoming opponents. So it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's the way it is. We've been a pretty good team on Wednesday nights throughout the last several years. And again, our full focus is on getting that result against Dallas. But you will obviously see some changes and some different things for the next 2 games.
Jordan Strauss.
So, Jim, 9 games left. You're at the top of the East looking down. You're able to sort of make some hay this weekend in terms of the teams around you in the standings. What's sort of the message to the team as we sort of head into the main thrust of the last part of the year here and you guys try to secure the best possible result ahead of the playoffs?
Yeah, the message is, there's 9 games left. We're in a great position in the league, and our challenge now is to guard against letdowns, and not have, when you're at the top, everybody's kind of gunning for you, and your motivation, you have to create yourself to stay there. It's not easy, but you can see how tight it is a few spots below us where it's a pack of teams you don't want to fall back into because they're all dangerous and can all beat you. I can't stress enough how hard it is week in and week out to get 3 points in this league. Whether you're home, whether you're away, getting 3 points is so difficult. There's real parity in the league. Anybody can beat anybody. So at this stage of the year, you can throw the records out the window. And in a lot of ways, the teams below the red line are the most dangerous teams because they're fighting with everything with their season on the line week in and week out. And that can be a real challenge to play against. So, yes, on paper, our schedule the rest of the way is one of the more, favorable ones, but like I said, you can throw the records out the window at this stage of the year because teams are playing with urgency. Teams have added new players that have injected new life into their squad. Example being, you could see a team like Toronto getting on a run now and not losing much the rest of the way. So the seasons can change quickly. We have our hands full. We're in a good spot. We've worked hard to get here, and now the challenge is to not give up that spot. We want to finish as close to first in the East as possible because we know how important home field and playing at Subaru Park is in the playoffs.
Lewis.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Tomorrow you guys take on another high-scoring attacking trio in Arriola, Pereira, and Velasco. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on that trio and just the attacking play we've seen in MLS this season?
Well, the last couple of weeks, there's been no defending in the league. So, very high-scoring games, great for the fans, terrible for coaches. But, look, it's an exciting league. A lot of times people think goals mean good quality soccer. I would say the opposite. I think it usually means bad defending. So that's just kind of the school of thought I come from. But, look, when you talk about FC Dallas in that front three, Ferreira, Velasco, Arriola, when they get going, really, really dynamic players, all comfortable on the ball, but also can run in behind. They have very good interchange with that three. Great players. And again, the hardest thing is, with your back line, if there's not pressure to the ball, you better be dropping and be on the same page. Because if you get it wrong by a split second, they're the best team in the league at getting in behind, and that's just proven by the data this year. So they can hurt you a lot of different ways, but that's something that'll certainly be on our radar, that front three and how well they interchange, they move, they can get goals lots of different ways, and they're confident right now. So it's a really tough opponent, one that we haven't played for quite some time, several years. So it'll be a tough task to go down there on a Wednesday night in 100-degree temperature and get a result, but that's our job.
Joe Lister.
Jim, a few weeks ago, you mentioned how the team was still looking to get to the Supporter Shield. LAFC is kind of running away with that right now with 6 points ahead of Union and a game in hand. Is the Shield still something that the team is looking for?
Of course. You'll obviously need them to slip up. Right now it doesn't look like they will. They're clearly on paper the best team that our league has, I would say. But at the same time, we have to do our job, try to win games, try to put as much pressure on them. And if there is a slip up, capitalize on it. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We obviously want to finish first in the Eastern Conference. We want, the Eastern Conference Championship to go through Subaru Park. And again, in a one-off game, if we're lucky enough to get to a final, anything can happen. So there's still a lot of games left, 9 games. That means 27 points out there. So a lot can change quickly. We have to do our best to keep performing well. And if there is a hiccup or a slip-up, which, again, I agree with you, it doesn't look like there will be one right now. But you guys know how crazy this league can be. So we'll keep the foot on the gas and push for every point.
And final question will go to Jordan Strauss.
Jim, just specifically on Ferreira, super dynamic players, couple goals off the league this year. But also, as you mentioned, someone that you don't have a lot of experience playing directly against. In terms of preparing to take on a player like that, is it more challenging when it's someone that, you haven't seen this year, but also since he's been sort of more relevant for that team in the last couple of years?
Yeah, look, I played against his dad, if that makes it relevant, and that wasn't fun. I know that for a fact. Look, Jesus has been an incredible player in this league, and in a lot of ways, Dallas and us share some ideas in that we believe young American players can work their way up and become great players for our national team. And he's an example of that. To become a DP in this league is something that is really, really special, especially for the attacking player. We've done a good job in this country of developing the tough physical defenders or the good holding midfielders, but we haven't developed a ton of great strikers. I think that's clear. And Jesus is a great striker. He's a different kind of striker too, because he can come off the line, he can run with the ball, he can pass like his father used to pass through the lines, and can score a goal from anywhere. So he's kind of a triple threat. I really love his game. I think I've tried to get him several times through the years, but obviously FC Dallas keeps their great players. So he's a special player, great talent, having a great season, and has done excellent for our national team. Just a really high soccer IQ, and a guy you can tell when he's on is almost unguardable. So we'll have to do our best to limit his touches. But again, the special players are the hardest to shut down, and you just want to try to limit where he touches the ball on the field as best he can, because over the 90 minutes he's going to get opportunities. You just hope Andre makes a save or a center back makes a big play to prevent him from doing his thing. We'll do our best at that, but yeah, can't say enough good things about Ferreira.